2 years ago, the world shifted. We started working and learning online like we have never seen before. There was a mass pivot and people needed to figure out how to do this. I'm coming up to the launch of my new book. My name is Patricia Regier with Regier Educational Services, and my new book is called The Online Shift. And it's been 2 years in the making, and I want to take a look back at how this started. How did I begin to create what I am sharing with the world? On April 4th is the publication date. And I am so excited to share this with you. So take a look back with me as to the origin story of where we started and how we were on this journey together. So I went through my Instagram because it started with posts that, when everything came to a standstill, a lot of people were panicking and needed some help. And I was in the position, perfectly positioned with the information, the experience to be able to help. So that is what I did. I think this was one of the first posts, March 12th. And it was starting with, when you can't attend a meeting in person, join online, and then starting to share some of the tools that I used, a Blue Yeti mic, a Logitech webcam, and starting with some of the equipment that people were needing to access at that time. Talking about the importance to stay connected because people were feeling isolated, and encouraging people to start with what they have, that they didn't have to right away get expensive equipment if it wasn't in the budget. So sharing some of that. Now, back then, 2 years ago, I was only at 40 subscribers. My goal for this year is to reach 1,000 as one of the milestones and goals as I near 5 years in business. So there's a lot to celebrate right now. And at that time too, that's one of my posts as well, March 14th. So I was posting a lot, just trying to be encouraging to people that, even if people didn't have the laptops and webcams, that even their phone was a great device to have video meetings and that they could do a lot in that regard as well. And encouraging people to be creative online. And, again, a lot of encouragement for people to feel okay. And then I knew that a lot of people were needing to shift online that had never joined video chat meetings, grandparents trying to connect with grandkids. So I created a special video series to help in that regard. I knew I was helping a lot of colleagues and organizations connect with their clients that really needed. So I wanted to create resources that they could send their clients or loved ones or colleague, whoever somebody needed the step-by-step video, very accessible and friendly video series that would help people to stay connected during that time. That was also a time we didn't know how long it was going to last. Let's look at this one here. And encouraging people, the self-care, mental health was really important. And at that time, I was still out of my dining room. So this was my setup. This is March 16th. And just encouraging people to use what they had. At that time too, I had a Bristol board from the dollar store propped up on a chair, and I had a desk lamp reflecting off of it as one of the good, that was my lighting. I was beside a window and that was my lighting. Then later on, and we'll see some pictures, I got some bigger lights when I moved into an office. So just to demonstrate, when I turn off my lights, and I've got them just on a little remote to give myself a break if I'm off camera, it does make a really big difference. So I was giving these tips all along the way and tutorials to really just be encouraging and supportive for what people are needing and help lower the stress and the panic of the situation, because people are having to very quickly shift online. So encouraging with that as well. And let's see here, March 16th as well, with conferences being canceled, like everything was just shutting down. I was, offering that if people, and I ended up doing a lot of consultations and just supporting people when they were having to stop their in-person graduations and events, and even, helped with a funeral. There was a lot of things that were happening. This is March 17th. So all within a short amount of time, 2 years ago. There were so many changes happening too, and updates. The learning curve felt never ending, or people felt like they had to learn a new technical language. So making that accessible for people, even, encouraging post here, March 19th. And, just that this wouldn't last forever was the messaging at that time. And it's not going to last forever. We're seeing a reprieve right now. Who knows what the future holds? But nothing, lasts forever in that sense of when things are tough. Thanking people. Then I went up to 50 subscribers. I did a bunch of did you knows, 5 tips with leading with video to help all the leaders having to shift online as well, March 31st. So the content was just pouring out. And then I did a 5 tips series of just even looking into the camera, because people are having to really adapt to how do you feel connected online as well. So that was a series that was created, and all of these had blogs with them as well. Some of the last in-person events were happening at that time. And so some of the events, whether it's workshops I was offering or other groups were inviting me to speak, taking it online. That's April 2nd. So we're all looking at that 2 years ago. Some of the videos too, when I created these tutorials, they were quite complex, right? I had to have 4 different devices in order to demonstrate with breakout rooms and things like that. This is going into May. So a lot of content creation, and developed an online course as well that's available. I'll link all of these resources. This video also is to announce some exciting things with my email list. I recently put posts out if anyone wants to be part of this upcoming launch. There's going to be some added value, Q&As, and also, some other exciting resources that we're going to offer. And, so it's not just about the book, but again, adding value for what you need and to celebrate this milestone for all of us of how all of you have shifted online and did it. You learned, and where you've come. I want this to be a celebration for you as well, for how far you have come in these 2 years. So to give yourself credit for that too. And when I'm looking back, it's really a journey that and I encourage you to look back a little bit too. What do you remember what it felt like where you started, and how are you feeling now about your confidence online and connecting with people? So even if you're going back to in-person already, the ability to have online learning or meetings as backup options or an alternative option so you can balance out life. I would love to hear how you're doing over these 2 years, and some milestones for you as well, some celebrations, because this is really for all of us. So yes, and what I was saying is with my email list, we had put posts out to invite whoever wanted to opt in to be part of the official book launch. But I was talking to my publisher, And because you've been on this journey with me, I've answered your questions, created videos a lot of times because of your questions to support. So it's really, this is a joint venture. So I decided, instead of just giving the sneak peek first chapter to the people that opted in, I am going to send it as an option for my email list as well. So that is coming to this week, and other announcements the next few weeks. Again, it's not just going to be about the book, other videos too. It's going to be quite a celebration month, coming up to 5 years in business, still going for the goal of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. But I'm also going for the goal of a bestseller when we publish on April 4th, 2022. So that is a goal. And I want to set this up for most success, because that status reaches then more people. And that way the book can help even more people. So if you're interested in being part of this in any way, or sharing it with others, or asking at your library, or gifting the book to someone as well, you know, it's a great opportunity. And I will be sharing more about the book, a synopsis in the blog link below. But this video, I really wanted just to start taking a look back at the 2 years. And I invite you to do the same for yourself, as we kind of seem to be taking a bit of turning a corner. And so it's a perfect timing. And just to look at the start of this book as well, you know, and then this is about the course. I launched the course as well. So a lot happened in a short amount of time when I look back. I encourage you too, to maybe look back. What were you posting on social media? Sort of, you know, an indicator of where you were at and how far you've come as well. So this was just, you know, a little bit of a look back in time, 2 years. How did this book start? And it started with giving quick tips and tutorials and support to all the people that were shifting online very suddenly. And I just appreciate you being part of this with me along the whole journey, and celebrating this with me as well. So the next few weeks, we'll have other additional announcements. I'm not going to give them away right now, and other resources that we're going to share with you. So if you're interested in anything I talked about, I'll share the links below. But thank you for watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribing or liking, commenting, I want to hear from you, and sharing, or if you're listening to this on the podcast or reading about it in the blog. Thank you so much for being part of this with me. And until next week or the next video, there might be a few more. I was thinking maybe I'll try to get to the 200 public videos on YouTube within this next month, which means a few more extras might be coming your way instead of the typical Tuesdays. So thanks again. My name is Patricia Regier. I hope that you're able to facilitate engaging learning experiences so that you turn your audience into participants, and that you also have some light bulb learning moments in your everyday life, attending meetings, conferences, or just conversations with others as you connect. Thanks again.